It's about 8:30 at night. We've done a lot of hiking today. Case, what are you eating right now?
Chip and dip.
Chip and dip.
Oh, at least you got chip and dip out of yours.
Chip and dip.
Welcome to the Wilderness Wavelength Podcast.
Welcome to it. This is another episode of the Wilderness Wavelength Podcast. Broadcasting. It's going to be a two-part podcast, this one. Hey, Johnny?
It is. Second part on location.
On location. First part, the first annual father-son camping trip. I like the idea of this.
It's gonna evolve into something great.
How old's Anakin?
Anakin is turning 4 in a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 3, Casey 3. That's my son. We're taking him out to Jarvis Campground for the night. It's going to be a one-night trip.
It's about all you can do on the first one, I think.
Also, add a little more flavor to it. We just picked up a new, well, not a new, but new to us holiday trailer. So this will be the maiden voyage of that too. So we'll see how things work with that. But yeah,
It's going to be exciting. Anakin has been ranting about it. Even tonight, he said, "Can we go sleep in the trailer tonight?"
yeah.
I'm like, no, buddy. We got to sleep in the house tonight. Trailer
Yeah.
tomorrow.
So we're recording this first part from the garage. Next time you hear from us, later on this episode, we'll be live from the campfire and see how it goes. How do you think it's going to be 2 3-year-olds camping? They are wild. Like these kids are banshees.
They seem I think they have an unquenchable fountain of energy.
Oh,
that
so
just
much
never
energy.
never seems to disappear. So I'm wondering if they will tire out and they will go to sleep, or
Yeah.
we'll be the ones who say,
Pass out.
Can we go to sleep?
Yeah, exactly.
Yet?
You guys put out the fire. Yeah, it's funny. So Johnny was on an episode earlier. I think it was like episode 7 of the podcast, maybe even 3 or something. But check it back. You can hear Johnny's interview. We talked about you were hunting for Sasquatch.
Yeah.
But the first time I met Johnny was camping.
It was a simpler time then.
Yeah,
Camping was
simpler
so
time
easy.
when you show up at a camp. So we were talking about this tonight. You show up at a campsite with this. I didn't have a trailer. Didn't have nothing. We just I had a crappy like 4-person tent, and I show up with some buddies. We're out at Catamount at Whitehorse Creek, like beautiful campground out there.
It is, yeah.
And it was kind of like an annual thing. And so we were out there, and we got one of the spots that's like 2 campsites, and you walk up these stairs and like these giant rocks, but like it's such a cool little location. And so I show up there, and they're like, "Hey, Johnny here doesn't have a spot to sleep. Do you mind if he stays in your tent with you?" And I'm just like, "All right, sure." We're in. So I mean, it's tight quarters. First time you meet somebody sharing a 4-person tent, like it's cozy. But I mean, that was, I don't even know now. Like, what is that? 15 years ago, maybe? Would it be that long? 10 years ago?
Has it
It's been a while.
around there?
Yeah.
It's been around there because it had to be at least 3 years before you got married.
Yeah. And that was the time that, I mean, simpler times where you show up camping with a case of beer and a pack of hot dogs, and that's like your,
Might not even have hot dog buns, depending on how prepared you were.
Yeah.
If the hot dog buns got
a
wet
few
with
ketchup
ice
packages
water.
from the McDonald's that you went through in the morning. Now I
Pack
feel
of
like,
bacon, maybe.
yeah, and never a thought of like, oh, maybe it might rain, or I need something else. Like, I got a pair of cut off jeans and I'm fine. Nowadays I feel like I'm over prepared. It's like I got a trailer full. It's like, okay, if it rains, this is good. If it's cloudy, we got this. So we got a cold fridge for beer, and yeah, it's
You got 4 different shoes. You got your sandals if it's hot.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
got your shoes if you want to go hiking. You got your Crocs if you maybe want to just do a couple short walks. You got your rain boots if there's puddles to jump in. And this is just my son's shoes, Then you got to get all your shoes in there. And
yeah. I miss it, man. I miss the
Simplicity.
where you can just throw everything in the back seat and you just go, and then whatever happens.
It's an old tent, might have a hole in it. You just
Yeah.
sleep on the other side of the tent so
Yeah.
that the water doesn't drop on you.
There's mosquitoes coming in, and you're just like, yeah, it's part of the camping experience. Now it's like there's a mosquito in the trailer. All right, okay, clear out the trailer. We got to get spray.
Fumigate.
Yeah. So, there's there's a Alberta camping like Facebook group that I follow, which I probably should stop following because it's almost too much. But it's like just people constantly asking if the campground they're going to has wasps at it, and it's just like, all right, like
Everywhere has wasps.
yeah, there's
I'm
wasps
sorry.
everywhere, there's mosquitoes everywhere, there's bugs. Like that's the point of getting into nature, is just getting out there. But yeah, this is the first annual father-son camping trip. Have you thought of any traditions we do on this trip?
Not really. I mean, Anakin has slept in a tent camping before, but
Talk
I don't
closer
think
to
he's
your
old
mic there
enough.
too, Johnny. Yeah.
I don't think he's old enough to remember
Okay.
camping.
Yeah.
And the wife is
Oh yeah, she's like super
she's
allergic
to mosquitoes.
Yeah.
She hates outside. Like camping's not really her thing. So between having kids and all this is going to be really his first camping trip that theoretically he'll have any memories of.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
he's super pumped.
It's exciting. It's going to be plus 30 tomorrow. We're going to be near the beach, so we'll bring some...
Do you have any magic fire?
That the colorful stuff? No, I got like a tire I could throw on, though. That usually burns like green or something. So.
Yeah, I got a couple different smells. You know what? It might put him to bed a little earlier too. So
Yeah, you throw the right plastic on there, it'll turn color.
nothing like toxic rubber smoke.
Our friend Jamie called last night, and so I was telling him about the trip, and like I'm like, okay, what the traditions we should do? He was thinking like glow sticks, so I got some glow sticks.
Okay,
That'll be a good one. The actual podcast question of the week this week is, what is your camping tradition? There's been a few good ones, like a yearly tradition that you would do. Mike commented, or no, sorry, this was Blair. He said, May long weekend, no matter where we go, I do a cold plunge. You ever do a cold plunge?
Were you with me when I did the cold plunge up? Where is it? Adams Lake? Is that Adams Lake? Up I don't know if it's called Adams Lake.
You had to cut a hole in the ice, or you're just jumping in like real cold? I don't think I was there for that.
No, I think it was me and the ex probably,
Yeah.
and a couple of guys, and it's the lake kind of up. I think the like North Saskatchewan comes out of it. There's a huge. There's rocks going all the way down to it. It's beautiful blue lake.
Abraham Lake.
Abraham Lake. They're not
Oh, yeah,
Abraham
the
Lake.
camping you at Abraham
Yeah,
Lake.
yeah.
Right.
That we jumped in there, and there was some naked guy swimming around that just decided that he was going to come over and hang out with us. And we're like, well, okay.
I forgot about that trip. We did a trip to Abraham Lake, and you guys had like a cool spot. It's hard to even describe. Like Abraham Lake has such cool crown line camping possibilities if you get there.
Yeah.
If you can be like get that spot marked up. But like we had like the big
You were building a Nookshucks.
Nookshucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was fun.
Did you jump in? Did you cold plunge with us?
No, I got my toes in. I'm not a cold plunger.
You're not a cold plunger?
No.
Man, it makes you bulletproof. I haven't been doing it in a long time. Like I used to, every time I'd finish the gym, I'd go out to get the sauna, then I'd do the cold plunge right afterwards, and it's great. But
this is a good one. Melissa said, camping Olympics with our Saskatchewan friends. We sadly missed it this year. We didn't get back to Sask to camp during our friends. But camping Olympics sound fun.
you know what it always was that I remember with the boys?
Huh.
Extreme bocce ball.
Oh, extreme bocce ball.
Extreme
Yeah.
bocce ball.
That's a good time.
Right
out
through the forest, through the trees, up the hills.
Whitehorse
over
Creek,
mountains.
great for that too, because there's a lot of different elevations you end up with.
Yeah.
To return home alive, that was sent in by Daryl. Okay. August
good
long
tradition to
weekend.
have.
Oh, this is a fun one. Yeah, that is a good tradition. Yeah.
We should have that. Let's make that one of our father-son traditions here.
I think the
come back
podcast
alive.
will be a father-son, like part of this.
That'd be
Each
good.
year we go. So like next year we record on a podcast wherever we go. Donna said August long weekend, Christmas with my dad's side of the family, turkey, brisket, gift exchange, fireworks, and she sent a picture of the Christmas tree.
Christmas camping?
No, this is August long weekend, but they do like a Christmas while they're camping.
You know, years ago, my mom just...
2 Christmases, Johnny.
Well, my mom always wanted to change the Christmas we celebrated to like the middle of the summer, just because, you know, around Christmas time, everything's so expensive. You're spending all this money on all these presents, everything. They jack prices up to get everything. And she was like, why are we doing it then? I mean, there's no like real reason besides tradition that you're doing it in December. Let's just have it in the summertime. You know, that was her kind of high season with work. Like,
and then what would you guys do during the winter Christmas?
Just ignore it.
Really?
Or, you know, you're like, I mean, my mom and dad separated, so I mean, I'd probably go down and have my dad's Christmas.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
double Christmases.
So I just get my Christmas are split up by 7 or 8 months. I'm a big fan of. You said Melissa?
That was Donna.
Oh, Donna. Yeah, Donna. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
I support it.
Randy says his yearly tradition is go to the busiest, most packed campground there is. So that's a good one.
Super fun. As long as it's packed with cool people.
Raymond, hot dogs and an open fire. I mean, that's easy. Karina said September long, always Drumheller, always stay an extra day.
We were there September long, weren't we? Or was that August long? It's cooler,
I want to
think.
say it was September long.
I think it was September long.
We stayed at the big group campsite.
Yeah.
And we hiked up to the flag, which was fun.
We went to the Drumheller Museum the next day. That was a good time.
Yeah.
Were you there?
No, I didn't go to the museum.
You didn't go to the museum.
I can't remember what was going on. I think I might have went home that day. You guys went to the museum.
And then we golfed the night day after that.
Yeah. I'd went home early because I had to work. Work.
Yeah.
But it would definitely, I remember that being like a transformative experience.
It was a good time.
Yeah, that was a super fun time. Michael says not going because we're broke. All right, that's worst answer. Vote for worst answer there, Michael. Terrible.
Camp is more or less free.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, those are some good ones. Oh, and then there's a couple others sent in through our Instagram too. So you can post this, send us an email, or you can check out Wilderness Wave on Instagram also. And Adventure Time Fishing and Hunting said their annual tradition is a 1 to 2 week trip back to some remote backcountry with the family. That sounds awesome. And also we started a thing where I do a big steak dinner after one of our biggest fishing or hiking days. Gives us all a treat we don't usually get. How much steak did you bring for this weekend, Johnny?
Anakin loves steak. I
Does
didn't
he?
bring any. That's like one of the only things I can almost always get him to eat. Steak. Kid's expensive to feed.
Yeah, exactly.
He only likes Kobe beef as well. Like, not just any steak.
I got a cast iron frying pan and some butter, and I got some deer steak in the fridge. I could bring him out, and we could cook it up.
This is the deer you got last year?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's hunting season now, too, in the next, my season opens September 17th. I can get a mule deer, whitetail deer. I got drawn from muley buck, and also antlerless elk too. So
An elk.
Yeah, this will be my first elk if I can track one down.
I have a good first time I ever ate elk was some elk sausage.
Mm.
I don't know who made the elk sausage. It came from my mom's stepdad there. But it's the best.
Tasty.
It was so delicious.
Yeah.
They mixed it perfectly, and
yeah. My dad's got a couple ideas where we can track down an elk. I'm just I haven't dedicated the time yet to go out and do some shooting. You ever do any hunting?
Really thinking about it this year. I just need to go and get my pal.
Yeah.
But
what's that? I think that's like a 1 day or 2 day course.
Yeah, it's a 1 day. I took it. I did my course. Oh, it must be 7 or 8 years ago now.
Yeah.
And I never got around to actually filing the paperwork. It was like in your home course, right? So they didn't do it for you. And I just never got around to doing it, and always regretted it. Yeah. I'm not a fan of the whole hunting thing, really. Like, I don't mind it. I'm a fan of the free meat and being able to get your make it yourself, right? Like
it does. I'm not a fan of the hunting either, to be honest. I love driving back roads and I love chasing deer and everything, but at the same time, for me to shoot an animal, it's like some people make it. It's just like, oh, I'm just going, they love it, but it's like, I like last year I shot a deer and it was like, it worked out perfect. The deer dropped instantly, like didn't feel no pain. It was fine, but the whole time then like you get such an adrenaline rush, and it's also like it's a bit much. You're like, oh, what did I do? And that I see that, but then it's like, well, I'm going to use as much of the deer as I can. I'm gonna have like it's going to feed my family for the winter. I like this more than the factory beef that's standing in there, whatever. And it's just like this is so much more natural. It's like this deer had a good life, didn't feel any pain, just done. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to preach it to you, but that is just how I can justify it to myself. Where it's like, it's tough and it's not. There's parts of it that are a bit much, but in the end, I'd rather do it this way.
I was on the drive down here. I was listening to the Cameron Haynes book, Endurance, I think it's called.
Okay.
And he was
with Anakin in the car. Like
he was watching his iPad. He was watching whatever show it was on the back there. So I was just listening to that, and he was like, in nature, everybody makes it out like, oh, you're killing these animals. He's like, when I kill an animal, it's quick, painless.
Yeah.
The other option is a predator comes and eats it alive while it screams, or it goes into the winter time and it can't get enough food, it gets weak, and then a predator eats it alive, or it gets old and slow, and you know what, a predator eats it alive. So really, of all the ways that these animals can go, like they're going in decently, like they're not old and dying at this point, they're still, and all of a sudden it's like 1 second lights on. Yeah, and within a pretty quick amount of time,
if you make a good shot and can do it right, and
so no, I don't have a moral problem with it. I mean, I know I can pull the trigger, but but I honestly, I've been thinking about it, and it could happen this year. We'll see.
Dedicate some time to it. It's grouse season right now, which are fun to shoot and
a lot
tasty.
Of work for the amount of meat you get, though. No, to get it all skinned and defeathered, plucked.
You just step on the wings, pull the legs, and you get everything out of her.
Oh, that's pretty easy. Yeah, man.
It does. If you can do the right pull, a perfect grouse pull, you pull it out and you get like some nice big breasts on it, and that's what you're.
That's what we're all looking for.
Yeah, and then bring it back to your campfire. I like cutting it up into a few little pieces, putting it into. If I can get a couple grouse, I'll put it into the into the cast iron with a little butter, and that's like your appetizer, and that's like perfect. And then, depending on what I'm doing, a lot of times I'm usually hunting around like with my dad or at my parents' place, and we'll go back. My mom has like air fryer, and so she'll like put a little bit of like some kind of beer batter on it, and it's like breaded grouse little bites. It's tasty. It's good.
Mouth watering already.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about like it is. I have my game bird license right now, and I have a shotgun and a 22. We could take the boys out.
No, I think the
dangerous.
wife would lose her mind if she found out that I took him. I'm thinking at least another year or two, maybe.
I was driving around with Christina and Casey last year. It was near the end of hunting season, and I had the gun in the truck, and we were just kind of driving some back roads. And like we're kind of hunting, but also just kind of exploring. And it was like the end of the day. It was like 5:00, and this was like November, so it's like it was probably 10 minutes before legal light, and there was a buck came out, and we're in the truck, and I was just like, I don't know, like it's a little like he's young, like the whole family's here right now. Christina, like she's down with wild meat now, but before not as much. Yeah. And so the buck's just like standing there staring at me, and I was just like, Okay, so I got out of the truck and I grabbed my gun, and the buck just like walked 10 feet away. Like it was probably a 30-yard shot. And I'm just like, well, this is what I've been trying to get. So pulled the trigger, and then so I have the wife and the baby and the dog in the back of the truck. And so then deer, they pretty much dropped instantly, which is perfect. It was close to home. And so Christina's in there. After I pulled the trigger, everyone was a little bit riled up, And I'm like, okay, I need 10 minutes to go and like get the guts out of this thing and put it in the back of the truck. You guys can just chill in the truck, but like they're staring out the window and stuff. Casey's just in the back.
Maybe you're going to turn the truck around this time first.
Casey's in the back. Just, what's Daddy doing with it? And like, what's happened to the deer? And then I got the deer in the back of the truck. It took me probably half hour. But I got the guts out, got the deer in the back of the truck, and then we're driving home. We hit the highway, and this is like close to town, and we hit the highway, and by this time it's dark now, and we're driving, and it's like a kilometer down. Deer in the ditch, runs out, I smoke it with the truck. Runs right into the side of my fender, and then that like. I had just got the family calmed down after the first initial thing, and now we just hit a deer with the truck, and so I get out, and like the deer, I'd hit it. Thankfully, it hit the fender, just bounced off, and then hopped up and ran away. But it was like another like, what happened to that deer? It's like that was completely an accident, But yeah, that was.
Can you imagine? You have to walk out and like, sorry, I got to do this. It's in pain.
Yeah.
Take another deer. Get home. 2 deer in the back.
Yeah. And, it was an experience, but so I think Casey's going to come hunting with me a bit this year. Like he's 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is a bit young, and he doesn't have the attention span of like to go for a walk into the bush and like be quiet about it. Mm-hmm. So he'll do like some little back road cruising with me. Maybe we'll get a grouse and see how that goes. But yeah,
that's fair. I just don't think. I feel like Anakin is gonna have a gun out. Gonna be aiming it, and all of a sudden looking through down the sight, and all of a sudden I can see this little kid walk right in front of me.
Hey, Dad, check this out.
Behind me when the gun's out, buddy.
Yeah.
Like I just feel that he doesn't listen well enough yet, and the last thing I need is him downrange.
Yeah. What does the father-son camping trip look like in the years to come?
It all depends how the boys develop, I guess.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the eventually gonna be the father-sons.
Oh yeah, because you're gonna have to bring Riot too.
Along eventually.
Riot is how old now?
Riot is 18 months now, so he can walk around, but
he coming next year then?
Yeah, I wouldn't count on it next year. I think maybe the year after that.
Year after that?
Yeah, I think you got to be 3.
Okay.
I think 3 is the starting age.
Yeah, I like it. I think it'll be fun. I feel like we got to do something yearly. I'm not sure what that is yet. Just as part of it, okay, every year we go on a camping trip, but what do we do every year?
Roman candle fight?
Roman candle fight, yeah. No fireworks. No fireworks allowed in Yellowhead County. They don't even sell them here.
Really?
Yeah. Like you can't get a firework in Hinton. You can't get a firework. You can go. I think Grand Cache, Greenview allows fireworks, but no fireworks sold and no fireworks allowed to shoot off. But
I don't have a problem with that. That's in Edmonton. I swear, in the summertime, at least every other weekend, you will hear fireworks going off somewhere.
Yeah.
Within earshot of my house.
Yeah.
At least every other Saturday night you will hear them going off. And it's nothing worse. Nothing worse than trying to put a kid to sleep and his windows open all the pa, 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 pa. And it's, oh man, again.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's more of a fire hazard around here is the main issue, I think. But
hey, whatever's the reason, it's working.
Yeah. So we're gonna we'll be coming live. Part 2 of this podcast coming live from. Ideally, I think the plan, if we can make it work, is like we somehow get the kids convinced that it's bedtime and they fall asleep in the trailer, and then we can sit around the fire and bullshit and have a beer.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
It'll work, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Anakin gets tired eventually, and
Yeah.
it'll be tough.
Yeah. It's going to be a long day tomorrow. It's going to be hot. But
Hopefully just tire them out.
we're up to the challenge.
I think maybe there's just in some small little every year we find some place
Yeah.
to take a picture of both the boys in front of this, and like say it's the Hinton Town sign or something, something that's always stays the same, and then you just see every year everybody's just a little bit taller, a little bit taller.
Yeah. How do we do that?
Well,
Because I feel like each year too, we got to try a new location.
It's true. Maybe, I don't know. You gotta find something that stays the same size, even if it's a mobile thing, something we have. That's something,
Right. Yeah.
something that's mobile
like
that
that
we
idea.
set next to them, and
Yeah.
like as they get bigger, it looks like it gets smaller.
Yeah.
And at their eventual weddings,
Yeah.
preferably to women, not each other. Though Anakin's really affectionate, but
Yeah. They had a bath together tonight. They loved it.
Oh yeah. Anakin loves giving Casey a little kiss every now and then. And a
Yeah.
hug,
They're
so.
best buds.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
they don't see each other. Like, you live in Edmonton, we live out in Hinton. Every few months they see each other,
Yeah.
but they
But as
get
soon
along
as you
real
say
good.
they're gonna see each other, you can't hear of anything else
Oh yeah.
until it happens.
Well, I know you brought up Anakin's Halloween birthday party thing. I was like, oh yeah, Queso want to be a part of that. We were thinking Halloween costumes this year.
yeah.
I think Christina would be a lifeguard. Casey would be a shark. Christina would be a lifeguard, and I would be a shark attack victim, I think. is the
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
All right.
Do you know what?
I've
You were
seen
always
some-
big into costumes too. You used to have.
I have
like,
moments. I'll go like 4 years without anything, and then I'll just go all in on something.
Well, you used to have like Halloween parties at your place. and
Oh
stuff.
yeah. Younger times.
Yeah.
I remember one year I was a demon lumberjack, and you were Jesse
I
from
remember that.
Breaking Bad. You were walking around with your
Bag
sugar
of
meth.
crystal meth.
Yeah.
We made crystal meth in the house. Not real crystal meth,
Yeah.
but like blue sugar meth. Yeah.
Just to be clear, it
Yeah.
was not real.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a fun time. That was
That
at
was-
Eric's place. Big party.
I was also the devil one year at my
I remember
house
that.
party. That was actually a pretty good costume. That one
Yeah.
destroyed my bedroom afterwards because red paint on the faces passing out that night wasn't great. But yeah. I don't know.
You used to have the big jigsaw face
Oh yeah, that was for that
painted down
same
in the basement
I wanted to leave it up, but
for the new people that bought the house.
well, my brother bought it, and then I wanted him to leave it up, but
Yeah.
he told me that the realtor suggested they take it down for
Yeah.
resale
In the basement,
value.
a giant jigsaw face takes up the whole room.
Yeah, want to play a game? I think it was, or something like that.
Yeah. Do you want to play a game? Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good.
That was a
times.
wild one. Yeah. Yeah,
We've
we've had
simpler
some
times.
we've had some good simpler times camping. Like, we've done some good camping trips. Even just if you're listening to this podcast and you're in the Hinton area, you'll know these areas. Like, we met at the Whitehorse Creek campsite, but then we spent some summer camping trips between Catamount and Robb along like the McLeod River there.
That was the one where we got that torrential downpour that like made the river just almost overflowing.
Yeah.
JD was stuck in his tent across like 30 feet of torrential rain. I lost tens of thousands of cryptocurrency to you in a game
hundreds
of crib.
of thousands.
Yeah, probably hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
We were betting Shiba, and that was when it was not really worth much, and we were playing on
Still
crib.
not worth very much.
I remember winning like 200,000 Shibas from you.
I think you won over $1 million.
Yeah, and then like it was pretty low, and then it went up, and I'm like, oh, I could be a millionaire because of this.
Oh yeah.
And then it crashed again. And I'm like,
I saw it just go up a little while ago. But yeah, that was a good camping trip.
Do you ever do anything with crypto at all anymore?
I was actually remember the NFT.
Yeah.
I was trying to find the website I bought that on. I cannot find the website.
Not OpenSea?
I couldn't. I tried logging in. I couldn't find it. So I don't know if I used a different email address. Trying to track it down. It's probably worth millions of dollars now.
Yeah.
And we're just sitting here. You know, we could be camping at Everest. First annual boys trip.
Yeah.
Base camp for Everest.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. We should do a annual camping trip too, where maybe we go to like a different country at some point.
One day, I'm thinking.
So the thing that we're measuring or that we got to bring with us almost has to be mobile or inflatable or...
Inflatable's not a bad idea if we can keep something for like, what? You got to figure father-son annual camp, which are probably going to start to wane around 16 to 18.
No, they're going to love it. We're going to be 80 and they're going to be like, they'll wheel us out in our wheelchairs. And
so you're saying we got to get something real high quality for the inflatable.
High quality inflatable. I know a couple websites.
It's going to be tough to get this year.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough to get this year.
We when we bought the holiday trailer here, super nice lady. She'd been having, she really wanted to sell the trailer. And so I think we got a pretty good deal for it. But she wasn't really down to clean the trailer and like didn't look in the cubbies. And like there was a cubby that just had filled with inflatable like river toys. So we got a unicorn and what was the other one? A flamingo and a tube and like another thing. None of them really hold much air, unfortunately. So maybe she left them in there on purpose.
Yeah, it's cheaper than going to the dump, right?
I guess, yeah. Just sell your stuff and then leave all your garbage. Maybe I've been had.
Yeah, maybe.
I think.
But you know what? I mean, so we're missing out on a glitter-filled unicorn, pink flamingo on a 2 fathers and 2 sons going out camping. There might be some might have saved people some misconceptions about the whole situation.
Yeah, you think we would show up there like we'd take our boys out and we're riding glitter unicorn, pink flamingo. Yeah, people might they jump to conclusions pretty quick.
And kind of like a rainbow colored lounging chair
rainbow lounging chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be some
I'm probably going to wear some kind of like tie-dye ripped off shirt tomorrow with my ripped out jeans. So.
And with me and my Speedo.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're going to be a hit.
Yeah, everybody's going to be a fan.
Okay, well, we'll come back live from around the campfire. Maybe just for a minute. Who knows? Maybe it'll be chaos.
Hopefully.
I would love to get the boys on the podcast too. I've interviewed Case a few times in the bathtub. Yeah. That's like his most of the time when I hand Case the mic, he's just like not interested in talking. He's like, let's go play and stuff. But in the bathtub, he's like, yeah, I'm down to chat. Let's talk. So I've done a couple like just interviews with him in the bathtub.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of fun. So maybe we can get them on the podcast too.
Maybe. I think Anakin has less of an attention span than...
Yeah, I feel like this year might not be the year, but...
No, one day, though.
Because this will be part of the annual
camping
trip. Will be the
It
podcast.
will, and hopefully by tomorrow, we'll have figured out what our picture...
Something to go with us in the picture. Like, honestly, right now, I know it's going to sound too easy, but a monster truck, like Casey just is so into monster trucks. We could easily do a monster truck. I just don't know how that, how do you do that in a picture that's like...
they're too small.
Yeah.
To be... Yeah. We'll put some thought into it. And,
right. We're going to crush a few beers in the garage.
We'll have the answer in 24 hours.
Right. So, next time you hear from us, we'll be around the fire. Actually, you're going to hear from us around the fire right now. We are live. Hey, last time we talked to you, we said...
Anakin, over here. Come on. Over here. Oh,
just getting into the trailer.
Anakin, come on.
All right. Welcome to Live at the Campground. How do you feel, Johnny? We're the first annual father and son camping trip.
I want to say it's more or less how I expected. Anakin, hey, do you want to come and tell everybody what's going on?
It's about 8:30 at night. We've done a lot of hiking today. Case, what are you eating right now?
Chip and dip.
Chip and dip.
Oh, at least you got chip and dip out of yours.
Chip and dip. It's been a pretty wild day, actually, so far. We're plus 30 out today, I think. I think I got up to plus 30.
Did you have fun today, Anakin?
Yes!
Did you have a lot of fun today?
Yes!
Do you want to do it again next year?
Yes!
Did you ride your bike?
Yes!
Well, I think he has about all Anakin has to say today.
Nice. Well, okay, so don't dump that. It is a little wild, and even trying to record a podcast right now. We just thought we'd give you guys a snippet of the action we have going on right now. In case we have a fire going. What do you think fires are before? Yeah.
Did you go swimming today?
No!
Did you try to jump off the dock?
Hey, I remember when Annie was driving his pedal bike onto the beach at Jarvis.
And he didn't want to go in the water.
He didn't want to go in the water, but he drove in the beach. Eh?
Yeah! I got the water, Daddy.
Were you afraid to jump in the water on the dock?
No! Yes!
Then why didn't you jump in the water at the dock?
That I
Oh, you just couldn't.
Yeah!
All right, I'm not gonna call you out on national broadcast, but I think you were scared.
Why you make this thing?
Best buddies, though, for most of the day.
You know what? For the small amount of time they're not buddies,
Yeah. And
they
they're
make
off.
up for it with hugs, kisses, back pats, pushes, DDTs, RKOs,
Yeah.
tombstones.
They're off again. Oh, coming
Well,
back.
they're coming around.
Yeah, we took a little hike today from the
little
Jarvis
hike.
Campground to the Jarvis Lake, which is like a kilometer and a half maybe or something like that. Which, I mean, doesn't sound like... Don't throw anything on fire, guys.
Oh, baby.
Which doesn't sound like a big hike, but we hauled the wagon and a no-pedal bicycle. with
About
the-
a foot and a half off of the ground the entire way.
Yeah, with two kids sitting in the wagon. There was so many routes. It was uphill, downhill, and you had Crocs on. I had Crocs on. It was a leisurely hike that we turned into a full-on expedition.
I'm not gonna do anything about like stolen valor or anything like that, but that was borderline a army hike.
Yeah.
The kids were our rucksacks,
Yeah.
and we
You tried to like get some sympathy from a kid on the beach too, and told him the story, and he just did not care.
the kid didn't care. He just showed me a rock that was shiny, and I said, "That's a cool rock too." But I just walked a kilometer and a half carrying two kids, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they don't care.
Yeah, it was a wild day. Case has got his. We got a game setting up here. We'll do a little more recap of this as this
Yeah.
winds down, but we just wanted to
Hey,
give touch
Anakin,
base.
what do you want to say about the first father-son camping trip? Did you have the best time ever this weekend?
Hey,
All right.
can we
Can you
sing? Case, you want to sing your final song? Hey now.
Hey.
I'm an all-star.
Okay, sing a happy
Go
birthday
play.
to everybody, okay?
All right.
Happy birthday to everyone!
Happy birthday, everyone.
Birthday to everyone!
Our next challenge is to get these guys down.
Happy birthday! Oh, okay, stop biting. Stop biting. No, you don't bite. Okay.
We'll be back.
Are we back now?
We're back.
All right, we're back. Well,
As we wind down the podcast, a few things we talked about earlier on the podcast. What would be our signature thing we'd carry with us to every
Tradition.
father? Yeah, what's our tradition?
and we put some thought into it.
Yeah.
We're thinking we're gonna go and find a stick tomorrow,
Yeah.
a good walking stick.
5 feet tall or something.
5 feet, yeah. And we're gonna just make a notch into it every year.
Yeah.
And as the boys grow older, they're gonna have it. They're gonna hold it. They're gonna be in the picture with it. And every year, it'll go from 3 feet above them, to they're going to be a foot above it, hopefully, I guess.
Here's what I predict. At the rate we're going, after this trip here, we find the perfect stick tomorrow, carve it up, make it nice. Next year, we bring it out, we light the fire, Casey throws it in instantly.
Yeah, that might be how it should go. Maybe we should.
Those guys are rascals when they're together.
Should we find some steel? Maybe and just grind a ring around it every time.
We'll take a chunk on the railroad.
There's got to be. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
A railroad spike. And every year we get another railroad spike.
We got to camp close to a railroad. Oh, this is a interesting idea. Every year you camp near a railroad. So it doesn't have to be super close. It could be kilometers away, but you have to hike to a railroad tracks every year and find a spike from that year. And then we paint the end a little color white and with our initials on it for each year.
Yeah, or take a grinder and they grind the number of the years into it.
There's a lot of cool spots around that are within walking distance of a railroad track.
We were down at the lake earlier and talking to a guy on a paddleboard, and he's had 46 years in a row annual. I think he said father, son, and daughter camping trip.
Yeah.
At the exact same place. I don't remember what place he said it was.
Oh, yeah, 2 hills.
Yeah, somewhere around there. He said for the last 46 years, he's been going to the exact same place with his children. And that's his dream.
This is year 1 of this one. So in 46 years on the podcast, imagine. Okay, here's what's going to happen.
So you're saying 2051, we're back on the podcast.
Yeah.
And we're going to be telling everybody about his been 46 years.
And I'm going to play this clip. This clip we're saying right now. So say something that happened in the news today. So just so we can prove that it's...
I'm just going to say one thing. And all I got to say is, Hawk Tua.
That is, that's the 2024 reference for sure.
2024 reference that you can get.
Yeah, you Google that. You'll... you won't be surprised, I don't think.
Before the podcast is over, though, when you asked me to come on the podcast here, I was trying to rack my brain. I was like, what more do I have to say about camping? And I remembered. And we were talking about how you and I met, and we
slept in a tent.
We slept in a tent together.
First night.
Never met each other before, but
shared a queen mattress. In separate sleeping bags.
Absolutely. And I mean, it wasn't intimate, but it was intimate, if you know what I mean.
It is tight.
You know? So it was, I want to say, it had to be 4 or 5 years before that. I went camping with another friend, and he had been a longtime friend since high school. And we both did the same thing. We were in a camping tent, and we had the queen size mattress, separate sleeping bags. And we woke up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And
in the same sleeping bag.
No, we were still in the different sleeping bags, but we were mere inches from each other's face. Yeah. Staring into each other's eyes.
Wow.
And
do you guys both awake at the same time?
We did, because we both talked about it the next day. And we both looked at each other. I remember we both woke up, we looked at each other.
Yeah.
And we simultaneously, you would see in a simultaneous swimming competition.
Yeah, synchronized swimming.
Synchronized swimming. Yeah, we just slowly
kissed each other. Oh.
Oh no, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that.
Okay.
We rolled over and looked the other way, and we went back to sleep.
Really?
But the day after that, and we talked about it. We were like, that was super awkward. We were really close to each other there.
Yeah.
And we were sitting around the campfire, just having your regular bullshit.
This is the next day?
Friends. Yeah, this is next day.
Did it feel more magical?
No, I don't want to say it felt any more magical. You know what?
Okay.
Things happen when you sleep on the same mattress. You know it as good as I do. But we were sitting there, and all of a sudden we heard a rustling in the bushes.
Yeah.
And both of us got up and we're like, what's that sound? And this was a pretty populated campground. Like there had to be 600-700 people at this campground.
Wow.
And we were like,
That's a big
okay,
campground.
what's that sound? And we walked. And we were right on the edge of a hill.
Yeah.
The campground had like a flat ground, and then there was a hill that came up for one area, and there was a hill that came up for another area, and we were on one of the hills.
Okay.
And we walked over to the edge, and it was kind of in between two of our tents. Our friend's tent was there; he was already asleep, and our tent was the other way, and we weren't asleep. And we walked between the tents, and I was the lead. I was the most nosy of them. Mm-hmm. And he was walking behind me, and we walked around, and all of a sudden we heard a really loud rustle.
Ooh.
And I turned around, and I grabbed my friend, and I pushed him as hard as I could, and I ran as far as I could back, and then
You pushed him as hard as you could in front of you?
well, yeah, you got
Like
to
bait.
get him down, right? You got to take his legs out so that he can't run away as fast as you can.
So this was you
whatever
thought it was a grizzly?
yeah, it was a defense measure.
Wow.
Yeah,
Not.
the grizzly can only run as fast as the slowest guy.
That's true.
That's
Yeah.
just rules 101. So I turned around, and I didn't push him. I kind of like repositioned him
Right.
behind me as I started to run.
boy. Oh boy.
And
Was it a grizzly or what was it?
no, it wasn't a grizzly. Turns out it was a raccoon. It was down in the
Whoa.
lower mainland of BC.
Yeah.
They're pretty. They have pretty prominent raccoons, and it was a raccoon.
I've always found raccoons to be super cute.
They are super cute, but they sound exactly like grizzly bears until they make a sound.
Like they're really stompy.
Yeah, they're really stompy,
Yeah.
and it doesn't build trust in your relationship with your friends when you
Yeah.
put them in your way.
Yeah.
when
What
you
did,
think
what did that guy have to say about you?
Well, I mean, we're still friends to this day,
Okay.
but
He didn't take it to heart too bad.
I think we both know that you never walk front and back into a sketchy situation. You walk side by side, so it's all comes down to who can run faster. It's not who can grab the other one faster and throw them in front of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Solid advice for the future generations.
It is solid advice. I mean, there's a lot of young people camping out there
Yeah.
and thinking, well, I'm the more athletic one of my friends. I can run faster,
Yeah.
but no, it's not a good way to go. It's not a good way to go. It's a good way to be, but
So all in all, how would you say the first father and son camping trip went? We're still, if you're listening to this right now, the kids are still awake, and it's dark out.
they are.
But they're watching. We predicted this actually earlier on the podcast, Johnny. We said we'd be sitting around the fire recording this while they're sitting inside watching.
And I want to say that when we say
can't
they're
remember that
sitting
prediction.
inside watching a show, that we just can't see them from the window, so we're assuming they're watching a show.
Well, they've been coming out pretty regularly,
Yeah.
trying to like avoid that scenario. But now I think they're both actually interested in the show.
Honestly, it's gone about the way that I predicted.
Yeah, they're wild, and then
They're wild,
it's chill.
wild.
Now we got to
and
figure out how they're going to sleep. But I mean, I think they've been amazing.
I'm going to put in a prediction that by 11 o'clock,
Yeah,
they are asleep.
and no one. Well, Annie took a pretty, from what it looked like, I didn't see it, but a pretty rough fall on the bike.
Not much blood, though. Like, it dried up within 5 minutes.
Is Kelsey going to be listening to this podcast, you think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Not a bad fall. I think there was...
It was crying.
Yeah,
There was crying.
A little crying, but he had his helmet on, and we'd had
Well,
him...
of course.
Yeah,
I
all the
fully
precautions
support.
were
Wear
taken.
your helmet. Have
Yeah.
your kids wear your helmets. But
But
kids
besides
fall
that, as
over.
far as injuries go, like no one else got hurt today.
shockingly,
Yeah. That trail we hiked, I mean,
if
we were
Kelsey was
set
on
up
that-
for injuries.
If Kelsey was on that trail, she would have got injured.
There was so many random routes and yeah.
Yeah, I got some scratches on my arm. I'm gonna be honest, but no blood.
If you can sympathize with Johnny, send us an email to wellnesswave@outlook.com. And
What's the worst injury you've ever got on a
hiking trip?
No, I want to say on a camping trip when you have camping lots. Yeah, hiking trip's a little different because you're hiking into the onto the location.
This wasn't even like the only thing I can think of that comes to mind. We were camping out at Whitehorse Creek, Catamount area. Bring that up again, but this time it was in the horse area where I was there with my parents. Yeah. And I made a mini bow. So I found like a good piece of like willow, strung it, and like it was like a foot long, so like mini bow. And I was making these little arrows, and I was sharpening with my knife, and I was pretty young. And I made like a nice arrow, put on the bow, launched it, and then looked at my hand, and the arrow would hit my hand, and my hand just like instantly all around the palm was just like this big red bubble. And I was like, whoa, what? And then I like touched it with it, and it was just a little bit of like casing over blood, and my whole hand just turned bloody. And at that point I was like, oh, this went deep. You know? And that was probably like, I was with my parents there too, and they were like, okay, I never got stitched, nothing like that. It was just like instant blood, but that's the only thing that can come to mind for camping injury.
The thing that comes to mind, and it's not actually an injury to me, it's an injury to the boots I was wearing. I want to say it was grade 9, and we went on this hike. It was down in the Kamloops region of BC. It was Mount Askam. And you hike up to the peak of Mount Askam, and then you hike down, and there's this beautiful lake there, blue-green lake. And so I didn't have any hiking boots, and this guy I knew, he lent me his hiking or his boots. And
I borrowed someone's boots?
I borrowed someone's boots.
Yeah.
And I hiked, I want to say 3/4 of the way up the mountain.
Like, how far is that?
That's a long time ago, so I want to say 3 kilometers, maybe 3.5.
Straight up.
We drove up a long ways, but it was all uphill. Like, it was hard. Like, the kind of thing where you hike up and then you're like, I reached the summit, and all of a sudden the summit is actually just a little plain till you reach the next summit. So I did like 2 or 3 of those, and I got up there, and then I all of a sudden my shoes, the soles came right off of them. And so I hiked the rest of the way up. When I had to go down into the lake, I just sat down on these smooth leather surfaces and slid my way into it.
If we have another member joining the podcast right now, Anakin has been out for... Anakin, what's been happening in there?
What's going on?
What?
You want to see what happens outside? And are you excited by what happens outside?
Yeah.
Yeah? You want to go back inside now?
Yeah, I want what he does.
Yeah.
I want Daddy. Hi, Daddy.
Hey, buddy. I love you, and I had such a good time with you.
What is your favorite thing about your daddy?
He had a wire. We have.
They got a fire. We got a fire. We did a pretty good job with the fire tonight, too, to be honest.
Yeah.
Good work, Annie. Annie threw some woods in.
No, but a wire. The room.
Yeah, we made a good fire. We made a nice fire. This is what camping's like. What do you think about camping? Yeah.
Hey, Anakin, come and give me a hell yeah camping.
Nice work, Annie. It's been...
don't touch Anakin. That's very hot. Yeah, it's really hot, buddy.
Good? Is it hot?
Do you want to come over here? Let me blow on your hand.
I think he's good. It's been a wild weekend, though, and it's been a good time. Annie, we were just about to wind down the podcast. So, do you have something you'd like to say to your dad tonight? Say something to your dad over here.
Happy birthday to everyone.
Happy birthday to everybody.
Happy birthday to everyone coming from Anakin, coming from Anakin's dad. and coming from George, and coming from Casey. Whoa!
It's been
we
fun.
only threw the block. Okay.
And also, we should do a little recap too, just quick on the trailer. Trailer's been actually really good. No issues yet. Yep. Okay. Thanks for listening. If you want to get a hold of us, wildernesswave@outlook.com. Anakin. All right. Thank you. It's.
I just want to
funny,
say,
like, I don't know if people with kids are always on such edge, but like your kid running around the fire like right now, it's just like, all right, what are you doing with that thing in your hand? what do you think about doing with that thing in your hand?
look behind you.
It's
Look
hot.
away.
Yeah.
We don't have to put it out, buddy. We're gonna put you to bed, and then you're not gonna have to worry about it. Okay?
We'll take care of it. Make sure it's out tonight.
All right. Can you give me a 1, 2, 3, yee-haw?
Okay.
All right. Anakin, come here.
Well, thanks for listening,
All
everybody.
right. Well,
And we will.
tried. All right.
I love this version of the podcast. By the way, like I love the interviews, but I love.
Whoa!
I love the liveness of this. I just, on locations seems like so much fun. Anakin, can you say goodnight to everybody? All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. It has been a wild time. I appreciate you guys listening, and
Let's say goodnight to everybody, okay? Count on 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good night. All right.
Wilderness Wavelength.